Hello everybody, this is Doug Leach from Team Blounce. Our game is Blounce. I served as the team leader. This was actually a game design idea that I've had for a long time that I thought would work for the final project. Um, Basically a very rudimentary platforming game. You fall from the very tippity top of the level and you work your way down through branching paths to reach the final platform there at the bottom. There are various platforms that affect the player. And I was having a lot of lag with the screen share, so I'm going to try and play it for you. Hopefully, give you a better idea what the game's all about, but I'll try not to die. Let me put it to you that way. Alright, enjoy. This month we worked on the background, and I like how my sky is actually going to set and change over. I got a big snake down there. This is called Medieval Apocalypse. So I've got the wormhole, obviously affecting the world here. The parachute lets you fall and time your jumps and get better landing position. Crumbling platforms are probably my favorite. They smoke when you land on them, and then they break apart. Do give you a lot of points though on my level. Sandwich platforms. Made it to the checkpoint. Oh yeah. I call this the spider tower. A little obstacle. In Blounce there are several different types of obstacles. This is kind of fun tunnel here. A little disorienting, obviously. I just failed. And there you go. From this point, you can get to a couple different platforms, but we've all had our own ideas, and not every level looks this way or even uses all the same things. So Blounce is 5 levels long. You get a parachute, you have air control. The ball actually moves around when you move. So it's fun. Thanks for watching, everybody, and enjoy the game.
At the beginning, we had many iterations of our game, and this took a lot of time. We did have a main focus. We wanted this game, Blounce, to be a platformer game, which had different platforms that had different attributes and would do different things. But at the beginning, we didn't think we were going to have a point system where the avatar would be able to collect coins and you can get multiplier bonuses, and it just kind of went with their game of what we were going for. We had many different platforms. Like the first one was the main platform. Nothing really changed about it. It just helped the player get from point A to point B. The platform didn't move or nothing like that. The same went with the finishing platform. Basically, when the player was at the end of the level and jumped on the finishing platform, this then would bring the player to level 2, level 3, 4, and 5. The spinning platform didn't really change at all. It basically made it harder for the player to jump to the next platform to proceed onto the level. The reset platform was actually a very interesting platform because two things happened. We decided to use a parachute in our game, which made the player jump for a period of time, and when the player was about to die, you would hit the parachute, and then the player would safely land on whatever platform they were at. And we were deciding, well, we could do a reset platform, which what would happen is if the player would jump through the reset platform, this would reset the parachute. So if the parachute was open and you went through, if the player went through the platform, this would reset it. And this would make the player run faster down the level depending on uh, what point of the game they're in. But this was actually interesting, and this made the game much funner, me personally, because it made the game much faster, and it gave the player more options. Flipping platforms, if the player stood on the flipping platform too long, and the flipping platform flipped, then the player would die. So this was time-based for the player. Crumbling platforms, if they were on there for only a certain amount of time, then the crumbling platform would diminish and the player would die if they didn't jump in time. Exploding platforms, we just got rid of altogether. We just want to keep on killing the player. And then the trampoline platform turned the ice platform, basically, which made the player run faster through the platform and let the player jump farther to a next platform, which was an interesting take.
I'll be talking about the things that have worked for us, be that development-wise, decision-wise, and programs that really helped us along the way in creating Blounce. First off, I'd like to talk about Perforce. It's a great site or a program that allows us to take everyone's files and consolidate them into one place and really keeps things organized more so than anything like Dropbox could offer for us. I want to really illustrate it for our programming because on Dropbox, if someone updated the scripts, they would have to override the last one, and that file would then be that new file. You didn't have that old one anymore if it was overwritten, which means you had to keep backups of every single file and every time it was updated. On Perforce, it overrides it, but it keeps a later revision. So as you see the different numbers, we could go back in time to grab a revision if something wrong happened with the current revision that we got. And it also allows us to see who edited it, when they edited it, and when it was changed. So we can really see who did what, when they did that, and how it could better be fixed. And as you see, diff against was amazing for programming. Instead of having to open the file here and look at the other file to see what this guy did against what this guy did and then consolidate everything, using diff against allowed us to use a different revision or a different file if we so desired to see where things had changed and when it was changed and how it changed. And Perforce even highlights the area that had changed from different revisions. I've chosen revision 5 on the left and revision 17 on the right. It was amazing and really cut down our time on getting things in and how accurately we were able to get them in. Next, Skype. Skype was amazing for us. We were able to talk to everybody in the group at once or get together with somebody else, share screens, so we could talk about things that weren't working and really see on the other person's view why it wasn't working and how we could better fix it. Skype also allowed us to transfer files if we needed to quickly get somebody an example or give them resources. After that was we really divided up our levels by the person, so each person had their own level and could spend as much time in their level as they wanted, and that way we didn't have to worry about someone else being in the level. If someone messed up your level or anything like that, and you could work at your own pace and really work the way you wanted to work. Lastly, during development, we were given the idea of a parachute. And the parachute wasn't in our original design, and it allowed us to really play with the game, have longer jumps so that we could, save yourself. It's kind of like an uh-oh button if you needed it. It also allowed us to keep the multiplier going longer so you could get better score. It was something that really came up at the last minute.
Well, Blounce ended up being a game that I think ultimately we were all happy with. There were some problems along the way, being that it was our first time trying to create a full game together. First thing we kind of ran into was that we thought that it would work if everybody sort of worked on the same level. We passed levels around. That tended to just lead to confusion. People were waiting instead of being productive in other areas where we could use them, and no one was really sure, whose turn it was to work on the level, and it tended to make a sloppy game altogether. What we did to remedy it was we started to delegate tasks and allow people to work in the areas where they were stronger. It could be more beneficial to the team. The second problem we ran into is that everybody would jump from task to task each week instead of focusing on their strong points. For example, you might be working on programming one week, the next week you're on level design. And so what we decided to do to remedy it was set our team of level designers and set our team of programmers. And that way each week that would go by, everyone knew exactly what they were doing. And then towards the end, we were able to sort of all focus on the level design aspects of the game while tweaking the code to get it to do what we want. The third problem we ran into was in terms of file sharing. We were using Dropbox in the beginning. That sort of became obsolete as the project sort of went on. And we ended up switching to Perforce, which was a much better way for us to share files and go about getting the necessary maps to each other for the build. I think the main thing that we saw was that a lot of times we would concentrate on feedback a little too much, even if it was to the detriment of the game. We tended to change the game from its original conception several times due to feedback, and then change it back because we get another set of feedback. So it was problematic because instead of just staying on track, we kind of went in circles in the whole design aspect of the game itself.
Hello everyone, I am a game designer at Full Sail University. My name is Stephen Sweeney, and today I'll be showing you Blounce. I'll be showing you how it plays, and I'll be talking about the different platforms that there are and what the objective is. So to start off, what's the objective? Well, the objective of Blounce is you are the ball. As you can see, I am the ball. Yep, I am the ball. And my objective is to get down to that Rainbow League platform, if you can see it past all the spinners. And throughout going down to that platform, you encounter many different things. For example, this is a nice platform. It skids you across the whole thing. It increases your speed. I'm not showing it here because I don't want to fall off, and I will show it here in a second so as I know which way I'm going to go. But this is a nice platform, and it is very slick. Woohoo! Next, this is a vapor platform. This helps save you from certain death, and it works really, really well. Oh darn. Okay, so I'm stuck on this spinny platform. This is actually used to knock the player off, get them unbalanced, and normally when that happens, players tend to die, so that's what they are. While falling down, you need to make sure that you do not stay in the air longer than 3 seconds, and if you do, make sure whenever you're about to land that you use a parachute, and I will demonstrate here. You die. You die when that happens, so I'm going to demonstrate here oh, never mind, I won't demonstrate the correct way because I'll have to get off this platform. Alright, demonstrating correct way, and the parachute saved me. Yep, and then you just fly down here, and there you are. That is how you play. There are many different other platforms, however. There's a crumbly platform, there's an ice, there's a vapor. The vapor you've actually seen. It's the one that you go through and it gives me a parachute. And the crumbly, you only stay on it for a couple seconds before it disappears. And the ice is just slick and it's a hazard. And that's it. That is how the game plays. There are many different more levels. This is just mine. It's actually very simple. Anyways, good luck. Hope you have some interesting questions. Anyways, goodbye.